Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty fundamental. It really challenges how we think about reality itself. Ask yourself this. What if everything we think we know about objects, about boundaries, where stuff stops and starts, what if that's just us, just a human interpretation?
It's a really fascinating idea, yeah. The source material puts it quite starkly. We can't see the whole picture because, well, we're part of it. Literally.
Yeah.
There aren't these clear lines where you stop being you and the environment starts.
No clear lines.
Exactly. So this whole concept we have of distinct objects, it might just be, well, fundamentally wrong from the get-go.
Wow. Okay, so our usual approach, how we make sense of things, it's always been about dividing things up, right? The source calls it division and determining and localizing and separating. Like this is a chair, this is me, this is the air between us. We label everything. But this idea flips that completely. It suggests maybe there's possibly only this one object with properties, just one thing.
Just one vast interconnected thing. And that view, it actually gives us a new angle on quantum mechanics, which has always been a bit weird, hasn't it?
Definitely weird. Particles being everywhere once until you look.
Right. So this viewpoint suggests quantum mechanics might be the glue that makes our divisions behave, makes them seem consistent. But it's describing something ultimately not what we think. It works using statistics for objects that do not really exist, although they seem to.
Objects that don't really exist. So if the things we're measuring aren't truly separate, what are we measuring?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It leads to this idea that essentially any description we come up with, it's just a human interpretation. It's not the real thing.
So science itself is an interpretation.
According to this perspective, yes. The source uses a great analogy. It's like a water wave describing other waves in the water while there is only water reshaping.
Ah, okay. So we're like waves thinking we're separate, but really it's all just water moving.
Precisely. We're describing the ripples, not the underlying water itself. And think what that means for things like unification.
You mean trying to merge quantum mechanics and general relativity, the big unsolved problem?
Exactly that. Decades of work, right?
Yeah.
And major hurdles. This view suggests maybe those efforts are just human interpretations being refined. They're stuck within our divided view, so they never even come close to what reality really is. They're useful, sure, but maybe only on the scales they were designed for.
They're not trustworthy on scales other than those they were intended to describe. It's quite a statement.
It is. And it pushes science in a new direction.
Oh, how so?
Well, the source proposes that science shouldn't just focus on measuring the divisions we perceive. It should also be about describing what can produce this perspective of distinctions.
Ah, like studying why we see divisions in the first place, studying the lens, not just the picture.
You got it. Understanding how we end up with concepts like mathematics and physics because we perceive these distinctions. There's actually a website mentioned, disteckle.nl, that goes into a specific proposal on this.
Interesting. We should check that out. But there's a warning here too, isn't there?
Yes, a pretty stark one. It basically says, as long as we cling on to that human perspective alone, we are stuck.
Stuck because division can't grasp the whole.
Exactly. Division alone cannot describe wholeness. It suggests our methods, powerful as they are, might be fundamentally limited if reality isn't divided up the way we assume.
This really does make you stop and think. If our whole way of seeing, even our science, is built on this maybe flawed idea of separation, what does that actually mean for finding ultimate truths? It challenges everything from how we see the cosmos to, the tiniest particles.
It really does. And it leaves you with this final thought. If the human experience, or even our scientific tools, are just not good enough to describe, explain, understand, and believe reality to the full, then what happens if we start questioning those divisions? What new ways of understanding might we find if we actually dared to look beyond the boundaries we've always taken for granted?